My father, who slapped me and punched me when felt like to, was asked by my mother to help fix me. She asked him very clearly, "I don't know what to do, he's terrible, can you please intervene, can you do something?" He came to me, "I heard you're terrible with your mother, I'm gonna teach you a lesson." In the village I grew up, we had woods, 300 feet from home. He took me there, and he told me, "Now you're gonna run." He made me run for an hour, probably more, and he kept pushing me down and punching me from the back, like a coward. Kept telling me, "Now you know what's happening when you're terrible with your mother." And he pushed me. And he beat me. I was 30, 40 centimeters smaller. I couldn't compete with that, obviously. It would make me stand up and fall over and over again. My mother would come to me and ask me why I feel so terrible, if I needed help. And 5 minutes later, she would blame me for making her feel bad. 19 years like that. She actually told all her friends that I was terrible with her when I was 10, 11, 12. Everybody would come to me and be like, "Why are you so terrible with your mother? Why are you harassing her like that? Why are you a terrible kid? Aren't you ashamed of being a terrible kid like that? Aren't you ashamed of making your mother suffer like that?" From people's point of view, she's the perfect woman. She's beautiful. She doesn't age. She looks after people. She lives in a very beautiful house. She has so much taste with clothes, food. She used to organize beautiful birthday for her children. So people in the form of social cliche would believe her because she's so perfect. So as a kid, I must be a nightmare, which made me feel bad, feel terrible all the time. 19, I was kind of released. I thought I was. That was not exactly the case. I read a book and I figured I could be whoever I wanted. I was 19. I was on the beach in swim pants and I didn't understand what happened to me. I was released from my chains. Everything changed that day 8 years ago. What I did is I started building a new self from scratch. First, I fixed it so hard I thought it was over. At 21, COVID happened. I was still living at my mother's place, and the last scene I had with her back then was her having an existential crisis in the stairs of the home because I wasn't hugging her anymore. I was like, that's enough. Cannot carry that no more. And that gestures, tension needs all the time. I took my car and I said goodbye. And what happened to me was the biggest paranoia of my life. My mother was and is so sad, so lost, so crazy. I was afraid she would do anything. Tell people I'm crazy, tell authorities I'm crazy, call the police, harass my friends, try to find me at all costs. She actually didn't, but that kind of paranoia is destroying you. Once you release yourself from that, you set yourself free, yet you've never been so scared. Being in the same house with her completely ruined me. Back then, like in most of the Western world, we could not go out in France. That made it hard. Really hard. But what very few people know in my life is that I couldn't get out of my bed for 4 months, having such anger, taking my freedom like a thief. I packed my car and I just left. I looked for an Airbnb close to my place, but far enough in a big city. I found one. 100 kilometers from Paris. I was devastated, and the worst ideas came to my mind. I couldn't control it. It's this thing that when you're such a victim that goes on forever, is this kind of double character. You build your inner self, and sometimes your old self chases you. There's nothing you can do about that. And I fixed it so hard, I can say it proudly, because I was aware of this since I was a kid. I could fix it. I was gifted or doomed by this strong self-awareness. I was aware that there was something wrong, since as far as I can remember. Yet, I was the cause of so many troubles, since forever. There's a thing, I'm healthy, but I have dark thoughts I cannot control. I'm a good person, but I will probably blame my persecutors forever. Lately, as I'm 27 and I'm building the most important projects of my life, those I've always chased, I got to think last few months, why didn't I do it 6 years ago? When I was free, I had all the time I needed, like many people did actually during COVID. And I kind of know why, because I hit rock bottom then. I used to tell people in intimacy that I have absolutely no memories of the first 19 years of my life. It's both true and untrue. I just have feelings, states, sensations. Because that quote I just gave you was the only thing I would tell myself every day. Life cannot be so shitty. There must be something else. I grew up in good conditions, very good conditions. My family was not rich, middle class, but they were abundant, and I took advantage of that, of course. I traveled a lot, more than any kid. Food was on the table. I was pretty lucky on this. It doesn't fix the issue here. I know these first 19 years of my life were my life. I don't recognize me in that at all, but it explains a lot about me, about who I am, how I behave, the choices I make. Because I don't forget. I even tried to help these people. I couldn't help my father very much. because he left. Well, I made him leave when I was 15. I tried to help my mother when I was 15, and when my father left, she went through a very, very hard depression. And I spent 1 year beside her bed every night, reassuring her, listening to her problems, comforting her. That was not my job. That's no kid job, not even a teenager. I'm not even sure it's an adult job at all. 25, I said stop. Basically 18 months ago, and I cut ties with many, many more people. Couldn't prevent myself, even if I don't have any violence in me. There was a kind of feeling that prevented me from moving on in life. And I had so many discussions with her about that, about what she did to me. Yet I hear from time to time that she still doesn't understand why I cut ties with her. But she knows what she did to me. But she's deeply sick inside. She plays her character like she's trying to understand. Yet, whenever she has an opportunity, a window, when she detects some vulnerability in you, like a scorpion, she will hit you so fucking hard and make you dig your own hole to hide in it, to feel ashamed. She did that with her ex-boyfriend, I know very well, and other people very close to her. The closest people she's ever had. She destroyed them. Like, I never seen anybody destroy other people psychologically like that ever in my life. Yet, she's a perfect woman in everybody's eyes. But it's not true. I'm not putting the blame on her publicly here. She needs to be looked after for a long time. And I need to speak the truth here. Not my truth, just the truth. I need to speak the truth about that. Do I feel like a victim now? No. Am I a victim? Yes, definitely. I've always had so much pride inside of me. Of course, my self-esteem was destroyed. And I still feel it today. But I never lost my self-confidence, ever. It's innate. It's another thing I got lucky with. Especially, I got rid of 99% of my surroundings, so I don't have many people to talk to these days. I only have the best of the best. But victims need to talk about their pain. They need to know they are not lonely. Whoever you are out there, if you've been through that, I know what it is. I understand you. I've been through it. I'm going through it every day since fucking forever. A problem that follows me is that pain, anger management. I never found any way to actually fix this kind of anger I needed to extract from the inside. I tried boxing. When you have such life in the early days, it's very hard to be disciplined with whatever. It's hard to be motivated. It's hard to integrate within groups. Well, I got very good at that in my early 20s, but I didn't feel socially accepted. These kind of boxing groups can be very hard to rely on, weirdly. I did purify myself. Maybe I will get into the details of that. It's pretty dark. But, well, that worked, so that's actually one good news. But I have this hidden, deep inside me pain that is not managed in some way. It's not preventing me from living my life. It's not such a problem, but I feel it. And I learned how to live with it. I've never consulted ever in my life a psychiatrist or any of that. I documented myself, I read books, I discovered spirituality. Everything happened, all my discoveries pretty much happened at 19. And the weird thing yet is that emotional incest was a concept I just discovered 2 years ago. It's one of the reasons I'm doing this. I fix myself anyways, without hard drugs, without soft drugs, without alcohol, without doctors. Later on, I had mentors. My first mentor when I was 15. That will be another very nice story for later. I still have mentors. But I would say that I'm my own mentor now. So, since a few years ago, it's the best thing ever. But the thing I cannot explain is the people I met along the way. So many people that did help me become who I am now. And this is the thing I'm the most grateful in the world for. Because you would have not bet on me 10 years ago. I wouldn't have myself now. And the few people I've met, the professional, whether they are the latest, and the last one was a sexologist. But I've met psychologists anyways in life, doctors, who I talked about that, and spiritual mentors. They all told me in the last one, I would just say what the last one, the sexologist, said. She told me, you're doing a great job, there is nothing I can do for you, and you're one of the most brilliant person I've met in my life. Because, you know, they meet many crazy people, but I fixed myself, by myself. So, I'm pretty impressed about that. And right after that, she asked me to work with her. Do I still feel the consequences of that today? of course, and that will last forever. As I was just talking with that relative, I told this person, at the time I'm finishing recording, it's past 4 a.m. here. Let's say it's pretty unique, but it's not. I should be sleeping, recovering, being super ready for my day tomorrow, huge work, so many things on the agenda. Yet I'm recording this. Every time this needs to be discussed, or let's say the 10% that's not fixed, that needs to be taken care of, sometimes for a couple of hours, a full night. That takes time. And trauma will forever steal your time, so you will always feel the consequences of your trauma. I feel it as well in my relationship with women. It's a very dense subject. I won't jump right now on the opportunity of talking about it, especially because of the way I describe my mother here. You can imagine that things have not always been very easy, very flawless with women. I was pretty successful since I was a teen with women, you know, that kind of popular guy at school, even though I was really stupid back then. Like, I was pretty chaotic. The way I saw since around this time when things started collapsing as well in my family when I was 11, 12. When you start, in my case, having your first girlfriend at school and so on, I was so pressurized about what my mother put inside my head. And this lasted for 6, 7 years. And then I tried to balance myself. And I did fall many, many times. This is also fucked up. And it should be way more simple, you know. Just meet a girl, she's your girlfriend, and you build some glimpse of some little life together. I wish things had gone this way. So hard, seriously. I feel the costs in my everyday life now, in every choice I make, in everything I do for myself, for the best, and for my future family. One thing I would like to tell you, feel concerned about that. Don't be ashamed. Be proud of yourself. Love yourself. I decided I was gonna help people recover from hell. My method is direct. You need to go 10 times harder on yourself than the rest of people do. You need to kind of purify that shit. At the same time, you need to take care of yourself 10 times more than the average person. If you need help with that, click the link below. Take care of yourself and remember, don't be ashamed.